Welcome back, everyone, to the Crypto Rain channel. I am your host, Jay Murph, and I'm going to be talking about linear finance, or Lina. Just a quick note, if you come to find it, realize there are two Linas. You are looking for Lina/linear, not the other one. All right, so coming to the correct one, it should have a little symbol that looks like this. And right now it's trading about 7.7 cents. Now, it has had a really good run over the past 2 weeks and has gone all the way from 2.2 cents all the way up to 8 cents. So it had a 4x. Not bad for 14 days. And we'll talk about why that's happening. Now, coming all the way back here was trading for less than a cent. So if you got in November, you have done super well. Congratulations. I'm very excited for you because you've done phenomenal. If you did get in back there, at least take out a little bit, because though I think there's some things, and I think it will continue, I'm not a financial advisor, and I definitely don't know the future. So if it were me, I would take out at least just a little bit, my initial, and I would let some more ride if it were me in this situation. Why? Well, let's talk about why. We will go into linear finance and more about it in a minute. I do just want to go to Bitcoin dominance, because this is what I look at frequently when deciding what to buy and what not to buy. I like to see what is happening here. So let me go to the brush. This right here is critical, and you think, wow, that's going down, that's terrible. That is very good for altcoins, because this is the Bitcoin dominance chart, and this is the dominance of Bitcoin versus all the other altcoins. And so what you see happening when this is going up, Bitcoin is taking a massive run. And then usually what happens after that is a lot of that value gets traded into altcoins, and you see altcoins having runs. And as altcoins have runs, this goes down. So this going down is a fantastic thing for altcoins. And so actually, since the end of December, many altcoins, linear finance being one of them, has had a massive run, and so that's exactly why you're seeing this. Now, what is this going to continue to look like? Well, we will see. It's pushing past this, but it wouldn't be too out of place to see it do something like this. And this would be called a head and shoulders pattern, right? So if that happens, what will happen is either Bitcoin will climb, or maybe everything cools, but altcoins cool a lot more than Bitcoin does, and you see some of this going up. So why don't we take a look over at Bitcoin and see what Bitcoin is doing? Now, this is some things I drew as I was looking at it earlier. So it looks like Bitcoin has had this run, and it's probably in a pattern like this triangle. So this is what they call like a bull flag, right? And so what we may see following this is we may see an increase that looks somewhat like the increase that it's gone to here. So say we were to take this amount here, we may see it flag up to, it doesn't want to show me what that looks like. That's all right. So we would see that break above $55,000 if it does something like that. Now, when that breakout is going to happen, usually this sideways action plays out for a while. And, it wouldn't be too shocking if we come down here and retest this a few times. Who knows, in a bull market, in the kind of market that we're in, Elon Musk could announce that he's putting all his Tesla cash available for the company into Bitcoin versus the depreciating dollar. That could totally happen, and if so, we would see it break strongly out of this and probably run all the way up to that $55,000 mark, which would mean in the short term, altcoins would take a bath, and Lina would probably fall into that. Because it's already done so well, it would have some retracement, probably never back down to here again. Why? Because the field that Lina is playing in is one of the most interesting fields there are, and that's the derivatives market. Now, the derivatives market allows people to buy and sell and trade things based on derivatives. So in other words, they can take long and shorts on just about anything. So you can take long and shorts on stocks, on really anything, boats, whatever. And so Linear Finance is another company competing in the same market as Synthetics, which has reached a market cap of $3 billion. Also Injective Protocol that I covered like a month and a half ago, which is now at a market cap of $173 million. And Linear Finance, even after its recent run-ups, is still at a market cap of only $84,000. Now, one of the things I really like about Linear is that they are also cross-chain compatible, and I do think that is huge. So they're integrating right into their platform some swaps so that you can swap from the Ethereum chain to the Binance chain. And why is this so relevant? Well, because of the Ethereum network is so congested and transaction fees are so darn high right now. And the Binance chain has way less congestion and has way lower fees, also quicker transaction times. There also will have one for Polkadot, and it's still a little bit in the early days of Polkadot, but I think integrating this early on and understanding that they have to integrate that early on is critical. Now, they would be really smart if they were also working on the same time on a swap to Cardano, because I think that's going to be huge. Now, Cardano is going to have its own bridges to be able to take Ethereum tokens over to Cardano, which will help because, say these assets, if you could take them from an ERC20 over to one of these different chains, that will just help you be able to get off the congested Ethereum network that's very expensive and take it to something where you're paying way smaller transaction fees. Because I don't know about you, I'm really hating a $20 to $40 average transaction fee right now. And what it does is it takes DeFi off the table for so many people. And so unless you're trading $2, $5, or $10,000 at a time, I mean, literally, if you're trying to invest $50 and the transaction fee eats up $30 of it, that just makes DeFi completely unavailable to you, right? I did do a review on WanSwap right now, or last week, and what is cool about that, I'll just bring it up briefly. I'm really, really excited about what they have going on. Looks like this. You can do some liquidity mining. So they have their swap. This is just like what you know with Uniswap, right? And in fact, instead of connecting to the MetaMask wallet, they have a WanMask wallet. That's exactly what you're used to with MetaMask, and so you have to install this extension. And then you save off your private keys and everything, but then it functions just like what you're used to with MetaMask. And you can buy a WAN chain, send WAN chain here, and you can do some farming, some really good yield farming for really, really small transaction fees. And let me show you what that looks like. So they do have some bridges so that they're able to bring in EOS over here, USDT, Bitcoin, like one version of Bitcoin. This is kind of like a wrapped Bitcoin, etc. What is most exciting, and I know this is different than the topic that we're talking about, but it's only partially different. So I wanted to show you what these transaction fees look like. This is what's so exciting. So I farmed this much WASP. Watch what this looks like. This is why cross-chain compatibility is so amazing. Now, OneChain is up from where it was at 35 cents up to 50 cents. Part of the reason is probably this, but OneChain has been working on cross-chain functionality and bridges since since they launched, I think, in 2018. So I've been a huge bull on them. It's fun to see something finally come out. It wasn't them directly that did this. Some of their community built this, basically taking what Uniswap and SushiSwap had done, as well as integrating it directly with farming. And so there's some good things going on here. But if 50 cents is 1 won, this isn't even showing up as 1 cent to be able to go ahead and claim this. And so it's amazing to be able to actually do some DeFi farming. Now, back to what we were talking about. One of the critical things of linear finance is being able to get the heck off of the congested, expensive Ethereum network and bring over things to the BNB chain, which is Not as cheap as what the wand chain is, but still very, very affordable, as well as Polkadot. And my guess is they'll have other bridges too. And they're building it in with that idea right now, which is the time to be doing it. So that's why I think there will continue to be some excitement for linear finance, or Lina. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this and then some retracement that usually happens. And if it does retrace pretty heavily, I'm going to be very interested in some more. And then my guess is it will take off from there, and that's what the information I'm using for my decisions and what I'm looking at. This market cap is fine. One thing I do look at very heavily, and I want you to be aware of, and I'm not exactly sure. I still have more research to fully come up to speed on linear finance, but the total supply right now in circulation versus the max supply, do you realize only 10%? Little over 10% is in the circulating supply. So I want to find out more how this gets released. I think some of this paid out for farming rewards and other things. I will come up to speed more on Lina. There's just a lot on my plate right now between some real estate investments as well as some other things I'm researching. So this is on my to-do list, is come much more up to speed on linear finance. But I liked what I was seeing enough that I made some purchase here, and I'll be doing more investment. I feel pretty strong about it, even just based on the probably 60% of it that I understand. Based mostly on the track record of things that I've already been watching, synthetics and injected protocol for a while, and their cross-chain compatibility. That is the right place to be at the right time, at least for what I'm interested in. Guys, I appreciate your support. You guys have been phenomenal. I do want to ask you, if you see tokens out there that you really are interested in, tell me about them, but don't just put like the ticker symbol. I want to know what you're interested in. I want to know why you're interested in it and what the market cap is. And if you put those three things, I will review it. I will look at it. And if I like it, I'll do a video on it. And possibly if I hate it, I'll do a video on it too, and I will say what I hate about it. So be careful. If you have huge bags of something and you're trying to pump it and you put those things in there and I look at it and I hate it, I might just do a video on it telling everybody that I hate it. So if you're trying to pump something that's a piece of crap, you might not want to suggest it to me, because you might get a negative video on it if I think it's terrible. Now, all of this is my opinion. I'm just a guy. I have 20 years real estate investment experience and only 4 years crypto experience, and a little bit of stock trading in there over the years, but mostly real estate, and then 4 years of crypto experience. And 4 years, I mean, crypto's been around for 12 years, so I mean, I'm relatively new. I have spent about 3 hours a day for about 4 years now, so I just have a glimpse of what's going on, and I like to think I'm really good at pattern recognition. If you like the content you're getting here, and if you subscribe to the channel, what you will be helping me do is, the whole reason I started this channel is I plan to make it rich off crypto investing myself. And so starting the channel is just a way for me to interact with very smart people like you who might not have time for a channel yourself. I've met some fantastic people through this, and some very smart people that are very busy, that are really savvy, and they, put their eyes on things that I'm not aware of. And so your input gives me an idea and helps me not miss things. See, I missed out on synthetics, and I wish I had started this channel earlier, because I probably would have had some smart people bring it closer to my attention. Secondly, the reason I had to start this channel was I was trying to reach out to some projects to speak to them directly, and I couldn't even get them to respond to me because I'm just an investor. And yet they were responding to some YouTubers that had channels of over 50 to 100,000 subscribers, and they would get back to them immediately. In fact, they would call them on the phone and have long conversations. So I realized, in order to get that kind of attention so I could get my questions answered as well as possibly your questions answered, I needed to start a YouTube channel so that together we can create that kind of thing. And one of my big goals for this is to have some of the project teams, their engineers or their owners, come talk to us, because I don't know about you, I like to know what's going on below the surface. And really, there's only two projects out there that do a good job at sharing what's going on below the surface. And that is Cardano, where Charles Hoskinson has his own YouTube channel. It's very well attended, and he does a good job not talking about things he can't talk about, but he's talking about the things that are happening that when I listen to him, one of the reasons I have been one of the biggest Cardano fans is I can see all the amazing things going into the foundation of it that are happening below the surface. Because what I know happens later following that is some amazing things come up above the surface. The other one is Cell Network, and Alex Mashinsky, or The Machine, has been phenomenal at interacting with so many people and talking about what's going on. So unfortunately, I wasn't one of the earliest Cell Network or Cell token investors, but I did buy a lot before the prices are now. And I did, when I first saw him, I said, this guy's amazing, and he's so open about what he's doing, and he's doing everything for the right purposes. I just didn't know how to use Uniswap then. I mean, I had used it once, and I used it to buy small love potions for the game Axie Infinity, and didn't even know if it was legit at the time, although it did work to help me buy those, and I thought, oh, okay, great. And I didn't take the time. I was waiting for Cell Network to hit some bigger exchanges, and by the time that happened, it got very expensive. So, I missed out. With that said, guys, till next time, stay tuned and, give me a like. Also, I would love to see your comments. If you're liking the content, if I'm absolutely terrible, it's okay. Let me know. As well as the tokens that you're really loving, but don't forget to put in there why you love them and what the current market cap is so that I can put my eyes on it. When you do those three things, what I do guarantee you is I will at least look at it. If I love it or completely hate it, probably do a review on it. Thanks so much, guys.